Good evening, or morning, I guess, depending on when you're watching this. My name is Julian Jones. I'm the IB coordinator at Cherokee Trail High School, and I'm here this evening to talk to you a little bit about what IB is globally and what IB is at Cherokee Trail High School. IB stands for International Baccalaureate, and the students who engage with IB tend to fit these descriptors either when they come in the program or ideally and more likely as they leave the program. We encourage students to ask questions, to know things, to really think about things, and to think critically about them. We ask students to communicate, to be principled in their actions, to be open-minded, not be afraid to take risks, and most of all, be balanced and reflective. The most difficult of these descriptors is most likely communicators. There is an expectation that students are able not just to be able to write effectively, but to communicate orally effectively as well. The reason I tell you about IB today is because I want to let you know that IB is universally recognized by universities. I probably couldn't say this 20 years ago. IB was not as well known nor as used as it is today. You'll see that in the state of Colorado alone, there are over 30 IB diploma programs, just like Cherokee Trails. I add to that by saying that there is a benefit beyond critical thinking and beyond being good writers to IB. IB students tend to get credit. Most of our students leave high school with about 30 college credits, which is the equivalent of 1 year of college. That is important, I understand, when you're sending students to school as the cost of university keeps going up and up and up. Now a little bit about the curriculum. IB divides its curriculum into 6 distinct groups, and I've given you those groups here. Group 1 at Cherokee Trail is English. We call it Studies in Language and Literature. Group 2 is what IB calls Language B. That's language acquisition. Our students are able to take either Spanish or French. Group 3 is Individuals and Societies. All students at Cherokee Trail take IB History of the Americas. They might also elect to take IB Business or IB Psychology, which while in that group counts as a 6th subject, which is the Group 6 down at the bottom. Group 4 is Experimental Sciences. We offer biology, chemistry, physics, and sports exercise health science. And then Group 5 is Mathematics, which we offer at 2 different levels at the higher or standard level. And finally, Group 6, which has traditionally in IB been the arts, visual arts being the primary. We do every other year offer IB Music, but students might also choose to study business or psychology in Group 6. The interior of this hexagon is something that I want to emphasize a little bit more. You'll notice inside the hexagon you have theory of knowledge, extended essay, and creativity, action, service. This is the interior of the hexagon that I'll go into greater detail with. Theory of knowledge is a class that students take in their junior and senior year, second semester junior year and first semester senior year, that asks how we know what we know. It tends to be the student's favorite class. There's a great deal of critical thinking going on here and a great deal of questioning. How do we know what we know? That is TOK. The second component of that interior is called Creativity, Action, and Service, or CAS. I've given you some pictures here intentionally. These aren't stock images that I took off the internet. These are actual IB students engaging in CAS. The easy way to explain CAS is that it's volunteering, but it's a lot more than that. You'll notice the students at the bottom right are planting trees in Aurora. The students top right have volunteered at a hospital. And the student, if you can pick him out in the most prominent picture, he's the white gentleman on the far left holding 2 young men. That former student's name is Pavel Repo, and I put him up here because his work with CAS in high school inspired him to do a lot more with it after high school. He went to college, and now he has created a nonprofit that addresses the mental health needs of underserved populations, primarily in Africa. You can look him up on Forbes. He has become known for his philanthropy. That is Cass. And the final area of that core is what's called the extended essay. This is a research paper, essentially, that students write on a subject of their choice. They have an advisor here at school who walks them through the process, and really it allows them to pick a subject that they're interested in and become experts in that subject, and to write a coherent essay, making an argument and or answering a question that they pose. A lot of questions come with IB. What's the difference between IB and AP? Essentially, it is that IB is a program. So IB is very intentional about educating the entire student. AP is more of an a la carte. Students pick and choose which courses they want to take, what they're good at or what they want to be good at, and they take exams in May. Their credit for college is dependent upon their scores on those exams. IB is similar in that they take exams in May, but there are internal assessments along with the external assessments in May. They also take exams, and they're also awarded credit based on those exams. The primary differences I've highlighted for you on this page. So why should you do IB? I would argue that the IB curriculum very intentionally educates the entire student. I would also argue that because the world is getting smaller, a global perspective is critical for citizens going out there in the world after high school. And I give you the IB mission so that you can read it at your leisure, but also to emphasize the last paragraph. These programs encourage students across the world to become active, compassionate, and lifelong learners who understand that other people with their differences can also be right. So what should an IB student at Cherokee Trail High School expect? Or more specifically, what should an incoming freshman expect? Your schedules will not vary greatly from a pre-AP or an honors student in your freshman and sophomore year. The differences I've highlighted for you. Instead of pre-AP English, you would be enrolled in pre-IB English. The rigor of those courses are really identical. You would have to be enrolled in a language class, for us, Spanish or French. And you would take those classes with the knowledge that there are weighted grades, meaning any B that you get actually weights up to an A. A C that you get would weight up to a B. That is true of all honors, pre-AP, and pre-IB courses at Cherokee Trail High School. So what does that look like? Here's a sample schedule that an incoming freshman might have. You'll notice the pre-IB English that I mentioned. You'll also notice a math class. Math class is varied. It could be Algebra 1, it could be Geometry, it could be an Algebra 2 class. It just depends on where you are with math in middle school. We'll make sure you're placed appropriately. We can work with whatever you took in middle school to get you ready for IB. Freshmen also take, or pre-IB freshmen also take AP Human Geography. They take honors biology, and like I said, they have to take a language. The other courses that I've given are examples. You certainly don't have to take Foundations of Art if you don't want to. These are simply electives and gives you an idea of what we offer here at Cherokee Trail. But this, again, is a sample pre-IB schedule. So what do you need to do? If you want to do it IB at Cherokee Trail, you need to be in the 8th grade. At least this audience should be in 8th grade and in our attendance area. You can apply for and be accepted via school of choice, but that is out of my hands. You would want to certainly fill out a school of choice application if you're interested in coming to Cherokee Trail and you're not in this attendance area. You should be in good academic standing. That's usually A's and B's. I see a few C's here and there, and even worse on occasion with an explanation. And you ought to be a family that is offering support. Certainly, if your parents want you to do it and you don't, you probably shouldn't. If you want to do it and your parents don't want you to do it, that's a conversation you probably need to have at home. Other considerations when it comes to IB, I do look at your grade point average in middle school. I look at your application, which involves a writing prompt, and I look at teacher recommendations and or evaluations. All of these are part of the application process, which is easy enough to find. After you've discussed this at home and made a decision on if whether or not you want to do this, you'll go to Cherokee Trail's website. Once you're on Cherokee Trail's website, you'll look up at the top and you'll click on Academics. And then on the left-hand side, you'll scroll down to International Baccalaureate. And you'll see it says CAS, IB application, and IB FAQ and policies. I certainly encourage you to read everything we have on our website about IB and to actually go out there on the Google and see what the world has to say about IB. Another thing you might look at is university recognition policies with regard to IB. But once you've navigated to this page, you'll click on the IB application and simply follow what it asks of you. Certainly, I am always available to answer questions that you have. You can email me anytime and I'll get back to you as quickly as possible. If it's a quick question and answer, I'll email it. If it's not, we'll set up a time to meet, ideally in person, but in this climate, perhaps via Teams or Zoom. Thank you for joining us this evening. Don't hesitate to reach out if you need anything, and go Cougars. Bye-bye.